Hello guys, you are seeing Prime News Australia, where we show you the latest and important news of Australia in the fastest and reliable way. So come, let's start by not delaying 25 big updates of the Australia, especially for you. Before proceeding in the video, comment by commenting from which state you are watching, and also like video so that YouTube can reach this video to more people of Australia.
Severe tropical cyclone Narelle made landfall near Coen in far north Queensland around 7 a.m. as a high-end Category 4 system, with sustained winds of 195 km per hour and gusts up to 250 to 285 km per hour. It tore roofs off homes, felled trees, caused widespread power outages, and triggered minor structural damage plus flooding risks. The Bureau of Meteorology reported the storm weakening to Category 3 as it tracked inland across Cape York Peninsula, with no major injuries or large-scale rescues needed so far. Queensland Premier David Crisafulli called the cyclone's relatively limited ground impact an incredibly good news story, noting damage mostly involved power loss, fallen trees and debris in remote areas like Coen and Archer River. Residents in cyclone-rated shelters, including some in shipping containers, remained safe as heavy rain continued. Authorities praised preparation efforts despite the storm's offshore intensity, fueled by record-warm ocean temperatures. Queensland Police released dramatic footage from Coen showing post-Narelle aftermath, with stripped vegetation, scattered debris, and damaged structures visible. Superintendent Kevin Fitzgibbon described the overall effects as fairly minor in the grand scheme, primarily power disruptions, rather than catastrophic destruction. True error. Video highlighted community resilience as the now Category 3 system moved west toward potential second landfall in the Northern Territory over the weekend. Uber confirmed a 6% fare increase across Australia starting next week, blaming escalating operational costs amid the worsening fuel crisis from Middle East tensions and Iran's Strait of Hormuz blockade. Commuters already hit by high living expenses criticized the hike, while the ride-sharing giant said it was necessary to maintain driver availability and service levels during volatile petrol prices. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese faced heckling and protests during an Eid al-Fitr visit to a Lakemba mosque in Sydney. Demonstrators voiced frustrations over government policies, leading to a tense confrontation. Albanese acknowledged the anger stemmed from broader issues, while mosque leaders emphasized keeping doors open for dialogue despite the incident, highlighting community tensions amid ongoing national debates. The federal government approved a long-term extension for a major Queensland coal seam gas project, allowing operations to continue until 2081 and projecting an additional 120 million tons of CO2 emissions. Environmental advocates slammed the decision as hypocritical against Australia's climate commitments, comparing it to lighting a cigarette while promising to quit smoking, amid calls for stronger emissions curbs. South Australia prepares for its state election on March 21st, with polls forecasting a comfortable Labor re-election under Premier Peter Malinauskas. However, One Nation is anticipated to deliver a significant scare to both major parties by drawing votes on key issues, making the result a closely watched national test of populist appeal and shifting political dynamics. Tropical cyclone Narelle, after making landfall near Coen as a high-end Category 4 system with gusts up to 285 km per hour, has weakened to Category 2 by late afternoon while crossing the Cape York Peninsula. It continues tracking westward, with a potential second landfall expected late Saturday or early Sunday near the Groote Eylandt region in the Northern Territory's top end. Authorities maintain warnings for destructive winds, heavy rainfall, and possible flooding as the system moves inland. Panic buying and fuel shortages intensified nationwide due to Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz amid escalating Middle East conflict, disrupting global oil flows. Australia's limited stockpiles, around 36 days for petrol, prompted emergency measures, including subsidies for remaining refineries and increased government monitoring. Tourism operators reported cancellations of road trips, flights, and cruises as soaring prices and supply fears hit households and industries hard. South Australia's state election looms tomorrow, with predictions of a strong Labor victory under Premier Peter Malinauskas, but experts warn One Nation could deliver a major scare to both major parties by capturing significant protest votes. Analysts describe it as a potential existential crisis trigger for the Liberals if losses mount, making the result a key national indicator of populist momentum and conservative voter shifts ahead of federal polls. Indexation adjustments to Social Security payments, including pensions, allowances, and family benefits, began today, benefiting over 5 million Australians. Deeming rates for financial assets were also updated, alongside higher income and asset thresholds. The changes aim to ease cost of living pressures, with full new rates and limits published by the Department of Social Services. Fuel Fuel shortages and panic buying persisted nationwide after Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz disrupted global oil flows. Analysts warned petrol prices could push higher, with emergency stockpiles tapped for relief. A snap national cabinet meeting addressed supply stability as households and businesses grapple with rising costs from the escalating Middle East conflict. The government committed to subsidizing Australia's 2 remaining oil refineries to ensure domestic fuel supply continuity amid global disruptions. The measure aims to prevent further shortages as oil prices swing wildly due to geopolitical risks, offering short-term stability while longer-term energy security strategies are debated. Australian share markets suffered heavy losses, with billions wiped off values in recent weeks due to recession fears and Middle East war impacts. Government bonds faced pressure as investors shifted to safer assets. The ASX hovered near technical correction territory amid volatility from oil price surges and global uncertainty. The Reserve Bank highlighted growing recession risks following consecutive interest rate hikes, now at 4.1%. Mixed jobs data showed softening labor markets, while inflation concerns from energy shocks persisted. Governor warnings emphasized the delicate balance between curbing price pressures and avoiding deeper economic slowdown. Gas companies strongly opposed proposals for a windfall profits tax on extraordinary earnings from high global prices. Independent Senator David Pocock countered that wartime profits should support struggling Australians facing soaring energy bills, fueling debate over resource revenue redistribution during the energy crisis. Some states reported forecasts for lower household energy bills in coming quarters due to policy tweaks and market adjustments. The partial relief offers modest help against broader cost of living strains, though experts cautioned that Middle East-driven oil volatility could quickly reverse gains. Superannuation funds saw balances eroded by global market turmoil, including sharp falls linked to Middle East conflict and oil shocks. Many retirees expressed concern over retirement security as volatility continued, prompting calls for diversified strategies and government support measures. The Australian revealed its list of Victoria's hottest restaurants for 2026, spotlighting new openings by top chefs alongside revamped classics rising in popularity. The annual guide highlighted innovative dining trends and culinary talent, driving the state's vibrant food scene amid economic challenges. Australia's richest 250 list showed combined billionaire wealth surging to $664 billion, underscoring elite wealth growth despite widespread inequality debates. The interactive ranking detailed how top earners expanded fortunes through various sectors, fueling discussions on taxation and economic fairness. Speculation grew around Matt Canavan's rising influence within the Nationals, as the party repositioned to counter One Nation's momentum after recent leadership shifts. Analysts viewed it as a strategic move to reclaim conservative voters ahead of future elections. Former intelligence official Nick Warner secured multi-million-dollar government contracts via his private consultancy, sparking ethical questions about post-spy career transitions and potential conflicts of interest in public-private dealings. Ongoing Robodebt Royal Commission inquiries continued exposing key figures involved in the flawed welfare debt recovery scheme. Revelations added to public outrage over the program's impacts, with accountability demands intensifying. Earlier March, heavy rains created spectacular waterfalls on Uluru and triggered widespread outback flooding, transforming arid landscapes. The deluge contrasted recent extreme weather swings from heat waves to deluges, highlighting climate variability effects. Sexual assault survivors voiced deep concerns over privacy breaches in legal proceedings, renewing calls for urgent reforms to better protect victims during sensitive court processes and investigations. Darwin police arrested 2 men following a violent assault outside a nightclub, amid rising worries about urban nightlife safety and alcohol-related incidents in the Northern Territory capital. Global happiness rankings were analyzed in Australian context, with local economic pressures, cost of living strains, and geopolitical anxieties influencing national well-being scores and public sentiment. Experts warned that Donald Trump's policies combined with the Middle East war could severely worsen Australia's energy crisis, effectively imposing a massive indirect carbon tax via sustained high oil prices, potentially reaching $120 US$150 per barrel, hitting households and businesses hard. Stop.